We'll see you at the parade. It was really then, in those days afterwards, that how special it was to win in New York and be a part of that team really hit home, and you realize that it meant a lot to a lot of people.
This was a tribute to the New York Rangers, but not only the New York Rangers, but this was a tribute to New York City and their fans.
MSG Network came to John Davidson and myself and said what would set our coverage apart was if you would anchor our coverage. And John and I kind of looked at each other and said, boy, I don't know. Do we want to be stuck in the studio? We were both a little disappointed.
The entire fan base of the New York Rangers who finally have a chance to celebrate, and why not take advantage of it? It's just a wonderful time for everybody.
My boss let me take off for the day. There was no way I was going to miss this ticket tape parade. That's for sure.
My wife and I, we lived up in White Plains, and we wanted to come down for the parade. We thought traffic would be a little heavy, so we wanted to take the train. And we got on the train in White Plains. Within 2 stops, our entire car was full of, blue Ranger jerseys and white Ranger jerseys. And I'll never forget, because we were just singing songs and chanting the entire way down. It felt like the car was moving back and forth. And that was one of the great moments, interactive moments that I've ever had with the fans.
The fans got a head start. Some of them were here as early as 6 o'clock this morning.
I remember getting out of the subway and I could not believe how many people there were. We were still pretty far from City Hall at that point. Broadway was just, 10 deep with people.
What a glorious moment awaiting the New York Rangers.
We came around that corner of the Canyon Heroes, and it was just, I'm telling you, your hair stood on end. It was just, oh my God, there was just this roar of the crowd.
They're just raining down paper here on the Canyon of Heroes.
On that float going from street to street to street, it was just the amount of people and the noise and the excitement and the energy. And it wasn't just 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 people deep. It was hundreds and thousands deep on every block.
They're coming down Broadway, the Cup's out there. It's a nice, warm June day. My wife says to me, she goes, I'm not feeling too well. So I'm figuring, we'll grab a water or something, get out of the sun, because here comes the Cup. It's been 54 years.
I don't think we recognized how big it was really until that parade happened and we got to be in that film that we had seen 8 months earlier in training camp.
And the next day, she still wasn't feeling good. And sure enough, we go to the doctor a couple days later, and we find out that she was pregnant, so she was getting lightheaded and dizziness because she was pregnant. And here I am telling her to get out of the sun.
So you had a Stanley Cup baby.
I had a Stanley Cup baby.
It's magnificent, a great sight. It was a great day, just thrilling, except here we are in the studio.
The excitement is building down around City Hall. That's where Al Trautwig is hanging out right now. Is he with the players to join him?
What's wrong with this picture behind me? What's wrong? Who's missing? You and JD are missing, aren't you?
Here we are.
I feel like Monty Hall.
Well, we're in the... What do we...
The door to the studio opens, and 2 uniformed police officers from the city of New York walk in.
There's a police escort that's going to take you right here to City Hall. Get out of there. He needs you guys.
What the hell is going on?
Well, I just jump out of my seat, and I'm out the door. We get into a squad car. We pull up to the back of City Hall. They bring us in the back way. Then the ceremonies on City Hall, the championship ceremonies unfolded, and we were part of that.
It's now my great honor to present to the people of the city of New York the 1994 Stanley Cup champions, our New York Rangers!
Of course, it all starts with Mark Messier. He said, there's one thing about winning a championship. He says, when you win, you have a bond with everybody connected with that team.
The players that were part of that 94 Cup team, they really exemplified a closely knit team that really cared for each other and played hard, and the fans could be proud of.
Mike Keenan also said is that you win at this and we'll walk together for the rest of our lives. Having experienced this before, I can honestly tell you that is the honest truth, that we will walk together for the rest of our lives.
He knew what this meant to the city. You know, he knew what it meant to Ranger fans. And I think he wanted everybody to get a taste of it.
He said, if you're around these people for a championship season, there's a link. And he said it endures. It lasts forever.
We'd like to thank the city and all you people for a day in our lives that we'll never forget.
It was great to be down there and great to be part of that moment and that celebration. They were heroes.
The days in '94 meant that I could actually begin my life after that. It almost felt like everything was complete in the sense that, you know, the team you rooted for the most, blood, sweat, and tears, and it all came true. It all came to fruition.
He's looking up at his family right now saying, I can't believe it. How sweet it is.
The days of 1994 were some of the greatest days of my life, but what they meant was being around greatness and seeing these players live their lives, dedicate themselves, sacrifice, work as hard as they did, put up with and handle adversity, just to be part of the New York Rangers. And it's something that, as I said before, as I said in my call, it will last a lifetime.